Welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite. Apologies for the sudden abrupt ending of the previous episode. I accidentally hit the record button by mistake, which is why, things screeched to a sudden halt. That being said, I'm actually keeping the episode up since I'm fairly happy with the way it turned out. It's just that you won't get my usual outro um, in that episode. But yeah, speaking of the last episode, in the last episode of Let's Play Robotics Notes Elite, Akiho finished her maintenance of Gunbuilder 1 for the day, and she and Kaito went off home. And then on the following day, Akiho went on ahead to school, while Kaito went to visit the Esquire general store, where he met the daughter of the store's owner, Mitsuhiko Nagaf, who, coincidentally enough, just happens to be a classmate of Akiho's older sister, Misaki. Oh, sorry, Misaki. Yeah, their names are very similar. It's going to be somewhat annoying for me to differentiate between them. But anyway, I digress. In any event, after a rather interesting conversation between Kaito and Mizuki, Kaito left the general store and has arrived at Central High. I'm going to do what I was trying to do in the previous episode, get rid of that, so we can actually see how actually spectacular this school building really is, and not accidentally hit the record button like a complete fool. It's a school rule that once you hit the entrance, you gotta turn off your scooter's engine and push it from there. Otherwise, it's very likely that Kaito's scooter will be confiscated on account of, of noise issues disturbing the incoming students. Oh, we can actually look around.
おはよう急げよ
There is the sound of a teacher's voice, which we already know who this person is because we were partially introduced to them um, back at the general store. This is the voice of Mitsuhiko, also nicknamed Mitchie by Mizuki, and of course Kaito. This is basically the PE teacher who forgot to order his, forgot to collect his overseas order of protein supplements, which is now still sitting back on the counter of the Esquire general store.
あ、ミッチーだ
Yes, indeed, if it ain't Mitchie. Perfect timing. Mitchie is at the gate, greeting students as they arrive. The spitting image of a physical education teacher. Green sports jacket, white t-shirt, and of course, a school whistle on a chain or string.
おいおいやしよいつも教えてるだろ長深田先生なわかるよなだからミッチーって呼ぶな
Yeah, I know we should be sticking to decorum, but your full name is probably incredibly hard for even other Japanese people to say in a sentence 10 times over. This man's full name is Mitsuhiko Nagafukada. Try saying Mitsuhiko Nagafukada Sensei 12 times fast. Yeah, we're gonna stick with Mitchie. I can't believe it. You're really going to make me say this. So Mitsuhiko Sensei Nagi Fukada the fourth Esquire. You know what? My opinion of you, good sir, has dipped immensely. I'm going to be honest. As a graduate of the school and was also the first president of the Robotics Club. Yeah, the translation has changed it from the Robot Club to the Robotics Club. Because Robotics Club is actually a little bit easier to say, the plural. But that's surprising. I would have thought that Misaki Tsunomiya would have been the president of the Robotics Club. Then again, she was probably the co-founder. I started calling him Mitchie because Mizuka-san does. The habit then spread to Akiho.
Nagafukada sensei,
myself.
さっき水香さんの店に行ってきたんだけど、プロテインさっさと取りに来いってさ。
But in true honorific fashion, Kaito was addressing him like a student addressing a teacher should in Japan. But the reason I'm not doing that is because, well, I'm not Japanese.
うわー忘れてたしかも今日金ないよどうするかな
I know teachers are often hard up for money, but this is frankly quite embarrassing. I think Mizuki is going to be blowing a gasket over this. Mitchie enters panic mode and clings to me.
一つ教えてくれイレは怒ってたか
Mildly upset would be the best way to put it. Although whether or not that's a good or a bad thing, I honestly couldn't tell you.
怒ってたんじゃない？あとあんまひっつかないでくれる？暑苦しいから。
Yeah, you should probably do something about that.
いいかヤシオお前にとっておきの情報を教えてやろうイレを怒らせるとマジで怖い以上だ
Thank you for the obvious information that we could have gleaned for ourselves, so wise sensei.
それは知ってる。
Mitchie is basically a delinquent teacher. Oh, there's a shock. Well, he better brace himself for the wrath of Mizuka-san. Well, that's a very catchy variation of the school bell theme. I sit down in my usual spot in the shade of the tree by the club room and gaze up at the sky. After school, Akiho went to get the club room key from the faculty room, but she hasn't returned yet. It's been a while. Speaking of which, let's see if we can check Twipo and see if any more replies. Started watching I almost said Fail Bird there for a second. It would be hilarious if it was actually called Fail Bird. Started watching Firebird again and got hooked and watched 10 episodes. Look at the time. 20-minute morning matches, 3-0. Looks like Kaito is scoring some extra victories. I wonder if that's an extra one from the ones that we did before, or an extra 3, although it doesn't really matter. Good morning. So sleepy. Probably why she's taking her time. Mitchie taught me some useless trivia. White hairs grow from other places than your head, too. That's... yeah, let's not dwell on that. VP isn't here today either. Does the school's vice principal even come here? Late 5 minutes, 1-0. I can't do this justice. For those of you who happen to be recommended a certain anime on YouTube, this phrase, this utterly deliciously hilarious phrase, allow me to give you some context. There's a guy, I don't know what his name is or which show he's from, but there's an anime guy with white hair and white beard that says "oh no" in pure English in the most overly dramatic English version or enunciation that I've ever heard in my life. He says 2 phrases. He says "oh no" and "oh my god." I think for the sake of showing you exactly what I'm talking about, I'm going to be posting a link in the video description, and you can see for yourselves just what I mean when it's absolutely hilarious. We can answer, forgot the club room key. Did you step in dog poop? No. Forgot to buy Skull. We'll send that one, because I don't think she'll have done either of the first 2 ones. But anyway, that's it for Twippo. Let's get on with the rest of our morning. It'd be a pain to check the faculty room, and even more annoying if she got back while I was gone, so we'll just chill. The sunlight is getting stronger. The single tree in the courtyard is becoming more and more valuable to me, as well as I should hope anyone else who happens to be hanging around in this area of the school. Yeah, this one tree is the only bit of shade there is in this yard here. Hopefully no one cuts it down. I have nothing to do, so I open the web browser. Finally, we can actually use the internet. Long last. It took us long enough. I find the headline about a new HUG model in the news column and casually tap on it. Exoskeleton.
本日ご紹介するハグ06カルマをキャンペーン中にお買い上げいただいた方全員にもれなく1万円をキャッシュバックいたします。自動車ポケコンと同じようにより身近により皆様の生活に密着する形であらゆる場面に対応できるハグ。このカルマです。コンセプトは一家に一台の時代へより簡単な着脱メンテナンスを可能にし一度の充電による連続稼働時間も大幅アップに成功しています。性能についてはハグ05より も全体で15%向上し、100m 走で最速9秒59、垂直跳びで最高 4.92 メートルを実現しました。従来のシリーズよりもさらに学習機能を向上させたハグ用 OS は、装着者のわずかな肉体の緊張からその後どう動きたいかを自動的に判断します。そのためより効果的、効率的にフォローすることができるようになっております。ハグ06カルマは全国のエグゾスケルトン社ディーラーにて予約を受け付けております。おかげさまで多数のご予約をいただき、現在からのご予約ですと発売日にお届けすることが大変難しくなっております。ご了承ください。あなたを支える心でありたい。エグゾスケルトン社は皆様との出会いをお待ちしております。
So, first impressions. I think I'm not exaggerating when I say that that was probably the biggest piece of corporate sales hype advertising that I have, or the most corporate piece of sales hype advertising as I've ever seen in my life. Second of all, we finally got to see Akiho's older sister, Misaki Senomiya, who apparently is a public relations executive for Exoskeleton Company, the same manufacturers of the HUG exoskeleton devices that Mizuki Ire is using to be able to move around and walk, since she is, otherwise she would be paraplegic right about now. So yeah, also, again, I know that there was some considerable amount of delay due to recording. Nothing I can do about that, but luckily enough, people were able to read the subtitles there and see what Misaki's sales pitch. I told you I would get their names confused. The subtitles basically let everyone know what Misaki's sales pitch is all about. As expected, Mizune is there. How long has it been since he started appearing on TV like this? Yeah, she's looks like she's left her days at Central High and the Robotics Research Club well behind her. After graduating 6 years ago, she went to college in Tokyo and now works at the flourishing Exoskeleton Company. She started doing PR work after her talents were recognized. She even makes appearances on TV as an HUG test pilot. And now they're being completely commercialized, and eventually will be in the home of every single person here on the island, and maybe the entirety of Japan, much less the world. Commercials, leading HUG demos, even working as an advisor for HUG Spark, which is an HUG martial arts tournament. But they do, as she said, they do increase one's physical stamina and prowess. I'm just paraphrasing there, but that's pretty much the gist of what she was saying. Anyway, HUG Spark, a next-generation martial arts competition hosted by Exoskeleton Company, The event is dedicated to athletes who wear HUGs designed for sports use. Beginning in 2016, the event has been held every March in the United States. The rules specify that martial artists must only use standing attacks, and that all competitors must be wearing HUGs. The ring is about the size of a tennis court, leading to speedy, intense battles that have only grown more popular over time. It's pretty impressive. Misaki is everywhere. Considering how active she is, it's no overstatement that she's crazy popular. Hell, people online refer to her as the pretty ex-co PR girl. She's more popular than your average pin-up model. We already know what exoskeleton company is, but apparently we're getting another tip for the exact same thing. Exco, short for exoskeleton company. Did this really need to be a separate tip? Couldn't they have just yeah, let's show you what I mean. Where is it? Yeah, you got Exco and Exco company, skeleton company right there. Kind of redundant, but there. But all I want to do is scream out to the heavens. Don't be fooled, people. The Mizune on TV isn't the real deal. Man, I can't even begin to count how many times Mizaki made me bawl back when I was in elementary school. So she was doing television personality hype even way back when. Or maybe not. Maybe she's her true personality is yeah, probably akin to I won't quite say full-on bully, but more of a tormentor of sorts. Well, that doesn't really help, does it? Just thinking about it gives me chills. In other words, one of her many talents is making Kaito Yasuo cry a lot. I'm getting a phone call. Finally, our first one. Call from Aki-chan. Huh, it's from Akiho. It's strange for her to call me while we're at school.
電話受信
And we can accept calls by voice commands. Nifty. I answer and Akiho's face appears on the screen. Take that, Skype.
あ、カイ
今どこさ
水かねの店
Wait, I thought you got here before us. Why are you back at the general store?
なんで
ねえ、それより宿題やった英語の
Ah, yes, the typical. I'm a Japanese I'm an average anime Japanese student, so I'm terrible at English.
やってないよね
Why is she so sure of that? Not that she's wrong, but yeah, I figured as much. I shake my head, but for some reason, Akiho smiles happily.
うちも
That's not a thing to be entirely proud
宿
of.
題っていつまでだっけ
明日
So yeah, better get to crunching there, Kaito.
やっべ
だからさ合宿しようよ宿題合宿
Alright, That sounds like a plot to a campy TV show.
自力でやるつもり？
ラッキーなことに時間はまだあるし、2人分の頭脳が揃ってるし、分担しよう。
Well, she's certainly got the motivation. Whether or not she actually carries it out is another matter.
あの人もかつてこう言ってた。
And she's wearing those red glasses. There's that anime sound effect again.
戦いとは常に2手3手先を読んで行うものだって。
Yeah, just keep referencing the red comet of Mobile Suit Gundam, why don't you? Unless that is a completely different reference, but I don't think so. I might be wrong, but still.
今のアキちゃんは一手先すら読めてないと思うよ。
Well, you're not entirely wrong there, Kaito. She's not denying it either, goddammit.
でもまあ、二人で分担する作戦には賛成。
Well, Kaito's on board.
そうこなくちゃ。
She's completely forgotten about cornering the vice principal, who's, given from her tweep, isn't even here on the grounds. I guess we'll use our club time today to finish homework.
こうなるのを予想して、いつかねえのところにもう来てたりするんだ。
へえ、二手三手先を読んでるね。
Surprise, surprise.
でしょ。
And now Akiho is laughing in a very similar fashion to two other characters, one from Steins Gate and one from Chaos Child. I'll let her be happy with this victory.
腹が減っては戦はできぬだよ。なんかお菓子いる？リクエストあるなら言って買ってくから。
Just don't go overboard.
ゴチになります。
Then again, since she's offering,
寝言は寝て言ってくれるかな。後でお題はもらうからね。
that means you're still paying for it.
そりゃ残念。
会への差し入れなら私が選んであげるよ。
There's Mizuka in the background. I hear Mizuka's voice on the other side.
なあ、アキちゃん。水香さんの言うことは聞かなくていいから、フルーツサワーメロン買ってきて。
なにさ、いつものじゃないのか。
As we've established in the last episode, Kaito doesn't want any of the buns that Mizuka is selling. Meat buns, pork buns, or any type of buns for that matter. Mizuka sure is persistent. Besides, if I have the usual, I won't be in any condition to study.
じゃあ買ってくね。部室じゃなくて教室で待ってて。
Very well then, to the classroom we go. And that's the end of the call.
少しでも自力でやっとくかな。
Just a little bit. Maybe. Akiho didn't take long to get back. We studied our best until sunset, but couldn't finish in time. I guess I'll just have to do the rest at home. And now it's Wednesday. Once again, Akiho charges off to the faculty room after class. It's stupidly hot outside, so I'm waiting in the classroom today looking at Twippo to kill time. I've also got taboo news. Who uses taboo anymore? I mean, it's still around, but still. Twipo is a social media platform with limited character posts on the internet. Yeah, we learned about it in a tip in the previous episodes. Phone droids have their own app for it. Each post is called a tweet and they form a timeline on screen based on when they're posted. If you follow someone else's account, it will display their tweets in your timeline too. Yeah, we already know all this, Kaito. I'm following around 100 people. If you follow a lot of people, your timeline basically gets flooded with constant updates. It's a real pain to try and keep up with it all like that, so you can split tweets into multiple lists. List A is for Robotics Club members, so I guess you could say it's for friends. We didn't actually read the, well, I didn't read the taboo news, but there's nothing to stop anyone else from doing so. Anyway, Akiho is saying Prince X is so cute. The design taste is so good that even though it's a giant robot, I think it's cute. Expected from the world-renowned Toyota. That's actually one thing that I did glimpse from the Taboo News article. I didn't read anything else, as I just said. It would be amazing if we could put this electric engine in Gun Build 1. Maybe I can ask later if they'll let me borrow it for free. Considering what happened with the budget debacle, I'm not holding my breath there, Akiho. Till late last year, our club had more than 2 people in it. Given our current state, Akiho is the only one on this day. This B is made up of real-life acquaintances and people I know online. There's more sales hype from Misaki. Today at 3 PM I will be appearing on Fuji-san TV's show 3 O'Clock Madam. Thank you very much. Are you Elvis all of a sudden? Includes my family, Akiho's family, Mitchie, and a few others. I have no friends around my age, and I don't follow many of my classmates. Thus, List B is mostly adults. List C is for others, and here is the Taboo News article, well, thing again. Toyota announces their newly developed robot Prince X, and there's a link to a more detailed article. That includes, List C includes journalists in Tokyo and the official accounts for newspapers and news sites. If I look at List C, I can get a pretty good idea of what's going on in Tokyo. I don't really use List D, hence why there's nothing on it. Even with the list split, they refresh within hours. I keep telling myself to at least check Twipo once a day. Thank you, helpful system message. To switch between lists on Twipo, use the left and right button on the Xbox controller, the left and right L1 and R1 on PlayStation controller, or Q and E on the keyboard, or just use the mouse. As I scroll through my timeline, I see talk about a giant new robot developed by Toyota in Tokyo. I guess they revealed the thing around lunchtime today, given the fact that it clearly says today. Actually, Akiho mentioned seeing this in the news. Maybe I should reply. You can directly respond to other people's tweets via the reply function. A little bit late to be telling us this, given the fact that I've already replied to several of Akiho's tweets. That said, I don't use Twippo that much, so I only really reply to people on list A, hence why we can only reply to certain tweets, not others. You guessed it, that means Akiho is the only one I interact with. She's probably the only one who replies as well. Oh, that's yeah, I was trying to do something there, but looks like that was the only one that the only reply that Kaito was going to give in this instance. That go for broke mentality is amazing. You really don't know fear. That should do it. Apparently so.
ねえ足尾、ちょっと頼みがあるんだけど。
And we have another classmate. One of my few classmates still around on cleaning duty talks to me.
私帰りのバス遅れそうなんだ。ヤシオって暇でしょ？悪いんだけどゴミ捨て代わってくれない？
I mean, sure thing. I just hope this doesn't become. This is probably already a daily routine, actually.
やめとけって早川。ヤシオはほら無駄だから。
え、でも暇そうじゃん。
It's not like I look. Sorry, it's not that I look like I have free time. I do have free time. But I'm currently stuck in this room. Who knows when Madam President is going to get back? I decided to turn down her request in the only way I know.
変わってもいいよ。
え、本当？助かる。
ただし、俺に頼み事をするならまず勝負に勝ってから言ってもらわないと。
Of course. I knew there was going to be a catch. I knew there was going to be a catch. As we've already established with Akiho in a previous episode, in order to get Kaito Yashio to do anything in life, you have to beat him in a battle of Kill Ballad Online.
俺に勝てたらゴミ捨てでも何でも変わるよ。
This guy.
は？私急いでるんだけど。
Yeah, Kaito is one of those people that clearly has the aura of does it look like I give a shit?
だから無駄って言ったろ。いつものことじゃん。ヤシオに頼むのが間違ってんだよ。
Yeah, looks like somebody got the memo.
もういいよ。何が勝負よ。バカじゃない。
That's Kaito for you. Obnoxious as always. Still muttering complaints, the two pick up the trash cans and exit the classroom. Kind of a dick move there, Kaito, but that is your nature. I'm alone now. Wait. If Hayakawa was seriously about to miss her bus, why couldn't Takahashi take out the trash alone? I was gonna call them by name, but we didn't actually see either of them. We just only heard their voices, so they don't seem that important. At least, maybe just for now. I considered shouting that at them, but that'd be a bit too much for me, so I decided against it. I'm aware that people consider me an arse, but this is my policy. I have no intention of changing that. God damn it, Kaito. Just when I'm finally about to enjoy a match of Kill Ballad, Akiho shows up. A wild Aki appears. Akiho returns with the club room key in hand. Took you long enough. The key is stored in the facility room, so she has to go and pick it up every time we have club.
部室へ GO!
But what about if we have spade, or heart, or diamond?
はいはい。
I stand up for my seat. We exit the classroom and walk together toward the club room.
教頭いた？
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no.
いなかった。
Yep, like
思
we
ったん
didn't
だ
already
けど
know that.
教頭先生って最近学校来てないのかも。回も見てないよね。
Yeah, once again, that is strange. You would think the vice principal of Central High would actually, be here. I shrug my shoulders, indicating that I haven't.
ミッチーな
Well,
ら
she
知
could
って
be
るだろう
sick.
から問い詰めてみよう。
Well, good luck with
めげ
that.
ないね。すっぽんあきちゃんって呼んであげるよ。
Now, there is a very Chunibu name if ever I've seen one. Snapping turtle.
何それかっこ悪い。
Yeah, like I said, Chunibu.
何せよ、部費をもらえなきゃ何も始まらないんだよ。
Yeah. But once again, I have to point out that it was kind of your fault for basically trying to extort a large sum of cash from a high school of all places. Also, these shoe lockers have they've all got a pointy roof on them. Why do they all have a pointy roof on them? I don't
も
know.
う2ヶ月近く放置だし、このままずるずる。
Yeah. The Robotics Research Club is in the red and in the decline.
う
No, it's you, the person that we saw or will see in the future. But for now, we have, well, I have no idea who you are. Kaito and Akiho, on the other hand, clearly know who he is. The moment she sees a certain male student, Akiho winces. His name is Subaru Hidaka, and he's the second year. And yet, for some reason, despite the fact that Kaito is the third year, Hidaka, Subaru here, definitely looks a lot older. You could call him Akihiko's arch nemesis, though I think that sentiment is entirely one-sided. Maybe. At the same time, you could say that he's the one person Akiho won't give up on trying to win over. I can already see the sparks flying violently between them. So basically, Subaru has the same sort of apathy as Kaito does when it comes to the Robotics Club.
やーやー、日高くん。
Well, that wasn't exaggerated at all. Despite feigning cheerfulness, it's pretty clear that she's pretty nervous around the younger boy.
ここ
Once
で
again,
会っ
the
たが
silent
1年
treatment.
3ヶ月目。というわけでさ、ロボ部に入って一緒に正義の巨大ロボを作ろうよ。
I don't think you're going to win him over with that.
三流ロボ部に入るつもりなんてありません。
Shot down again. Subaru Hidaka brutally interrupts Akiho.
もう20回以上そう答えたはずですが。
Yeah. Also ignore the fact that Subaru kind of has a vague resemblance to Hideo Kojima.
でもほら、ロ ロボ部にとっては日高くんの技術力が必要なの。
関わり合いになりたくないんですよ、ロボ部とは。
Yeah, looks like this conversation is going nowhere.
失礼します。
Without even a bow, Subaru Hidaka changes his indoor shoes to his regular ones, then leaves. Yeah, in Japanese etiquette, students have to change from one pair of shoes to another whenever they're inside the school building. That's just how it is.
絶対ロボ部に入れてやるんだから。
Yeah, she doesn't like him, but she really wants him to be a part of the Robotics Club. Akiho's face is bright red. She looks like she's going to start stamping her feet in frustration.
あんなに嫌われてるのに、アキちゃんもしつこいね。
また一言。
I think Kaito would disagree with you on that. I haven't the slightest clue why, but Subaru Hidaka is actively hostile towards the Robotics Club. Does he have a grudge against Akiho? Or is there a deeper mystery here? He was the one student who came to watch our club last year, but it wasn't long before he started calling us stuff like third-rate and worthless. This suggests to me that he probably has far greater admiration for Misaki Shinomiya, although I actually can't say that for certain. Well, I guess it only makes sense. In terms of technical skills, Subaru is on a completely different level. In junior high, he apparently entered Robo 1 solo and won 3rd place. He never entered again after that. According to Mitchie's intel, he's even capable of repairing broken wristwatches. I understand why he looks down on us to an extent. If he ever joined the Robotics Club, he'd immediately be our ace, so he's a whiz when it comes to mechanics. Heck, even though he's younger, he'd probably make a better club president than Akiho. Judging from his behavior, however, I would actually question that.
俺たちが三流っていうのは確かでしょ。
Unfortunately, it's the same opinion that Misaki had about Akiho, even though they're siblings. And Akiho is completely dejected.
事実は事実として受け入れないと。
分かってはいるけど、はい、その通りですなんて言えるわけないってば。
Yeah, she's still determined to complete Gun Barrel Build 1, no matter what. All sorts of people are making fun of our little club. It wasn't nearly this bad when Akiho and I joined up as new students. It's hard to say when it began, but I think it was after last year's new student club orientation, where things started going downhill. The seniors in club weren't the public speaking types, so Akiho gave the speech instead. That's where she screwed up. Akiho made a showy intro video about Gun Barrel Prototype Model 1 and the club members maintaining it. The BGM for the video was the Gun Barrel theme song, sung by Akiho herself. I'm beginning to see where the problem lies here. I'm sure you can imagine how all that went over. I think I can, Kaito. And so the only student who came to check our club out was Subaru Hidaka. Must have come to pick a fight. This year, Akiho and I ended alone. She did her best to learn from her prior failures and didn't show the robot. Although, I do once again have to ask, you know, if people aren't interested in having robots at Robot Club, sorry, Robotics Club, why then, yeah, considering the fact that there's all this technology and everything going around. But mid-speech, Akiho had an attack and was sent over to the infirmary. Since I don't care about robots, it was over. So it made total sense that we couldn't get any new recruits. Plus, right after that, Akiho requested a tenfold increase to our budget, causing the student council on the VP to snap. As a result, even the underclassmen got a bad impression of Akiho burnt into their minds, and so, yeah, it led to abject failure. Our club and the gun build project became the objects of ridicule. Students started referring to it as homegrown scrap. Sure, compared to the high-tech robots being made by huge companies worldwide, ours is both ugly and has super low specs. I've heard people say that if it still hasn't been completed after 8 years, it'll never get finished. That's probably true. They say it's a waste of club funds and that the budget will be better off given to other clubs. I can't argue with that. Even though in this world, everyone in the sports clubs will basically, once they graduate, will pretty much end up working for companies like Exoskeleton in developing robotic technology anyway. Hell, you could even argue that the Robotics Club had been given too much treatment, special treatment up until now. Probably mostly to do with Misaki rather than Akiho. And all that was because of the groundwork that Misaki put in as the founding member of the organization, and which Mitchie was the club president at the time. Since we're clinging to the work that others did before us, I'm sure the school looks at us like we're parasites.
社会の縮図だね。
You're not wrong there, Kaito. Alright, time to go ham on Kill Bella today. But not right now, Kaito. When we return, adventurers, looks like we're in for another online battle. Let's see if we can keep our winning streak going, or whether I end up failing and bringing down the team. Hopefully not. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.